Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's time for a double dose of dismal Disney. We have another.
We haven't had one for a while, really.
We haven't. No, there hasn't been enough bad Disney news. We need more bad Disney news.
Actually, I would love to hear some good Disney news. That would be a refreshing change.
Well, Nelson Peltz coming in would probably be.
Well, yeah.
would probably be a good change.
Maybe.
But let's talk about the state of Disney's theme parks. According to Inside the Tragic, they are a ghost town right now. Now that's not
That's an exaggeration, but it's Inside the Tragic, so what else do we expect?
Yeah, it's not exactly true, but there are a lot of sites, a lot of outlets, a lot of analysts looking at the situation and being like, yeah, the situation in the theme parks, not good right now. And there are a number of reasons for that. You know, chief among them is the price, obviously,
Yes.
and we're in recession and people are concerned about money, concerned about the state of the world, and they're, cutting expenses like overpriced vacations. I mean, it's a very easy thing to cut, but this accounts for like a third of Disney's revenue, the theme parks.
Yes.
And, for them to be on the decline, especially when they're in their 100th year.
I know, and they're offering all kinds of deals right now. Like we keep seeing the deals like for the holidays and on Christmas and stuff, but they usually don't do that because they're desperate.
Yeah, now we'll pull this article up. First, we'll go out to Bloomberg, but 4,000 comments. 4,000
Wow.
comments. So before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture, news, views, and rants. Guys, you get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Very quickly, go out to shopclownfish.com and back Shadowbinders Volume 3. It's coming next summer. We're working on it right now. This will be the first new Shadowbinders graphic novel content, apart from Crimson Wren, which was a spin-off. I mean, actual Shadowbinders graphic novel content in like 10 years.
And there are some book ones and twos left. Not many, but there are a few. We might have to do another printing at some point, but for now, that's all we got.
Yeah. So there it is, guys. Check it out. Shopclownfish.com. Link in the comments. I think I'll pin it to the top of the comments. So let's talk about this. This is coming from Bloomberg a couple days ago.
Now, I did see this a couple days ago at the $40,000 luxury vacation. You have to understand, when they're talking about that, they're talking about somebody who goes every day, the tour guide, and they do all like the special, stuff with all the extra price tags. And there are people that do that, but that when they're saying $40,000, that's not indicative of the average price. I just want to make that clear.
They stay at the Galactic Star Cruiser again and again.
No,
and
it's
again
like staying at the Grand Floridian and then having tour guides every day at like several $1,000s a day and stuff like that. So
here's what they're saying. They're saying after a blowout 2022 driven by pent-up demand, and also price stimmy checks and all this other stuff. Visits to Florida's Disney World are down as much as 15% this year, according to one analysis. As the House of Mouse pushes up against the limits of what vacationers are willing to pay, travel planners say families are often cutting trips short to cope with peak season ticket prices that have almost doubled over the past decade.
It's gotten ridiculous. I mean, it is ridiculous. And then on top of your ticket prices that are so expensive, if you want to, get on stuff, you have to pay for Genie Plus, and that depends on the park and the day and all that other crap.
Yeah, so this is where I don't agree with it. Now they're talking about how the surging admission prices, and they're balking at the system that's becoming very complex now. But they said that myriad add-ons are now standard for part of most visits. Bibbidi Bobbidi boutique princess makeovers or passes that let antsy kids skip lines have boosted the cost for a typical week-long trip for a family of four by $5,000 to $25,000.
No, that's bullshit. Sorry. I'm just going to say that's bullshit, right? I'm just telling you straight up. That doesn't cost $25,000 or $40,000 for a normal family to go, even if you get Genie Plus. That's if you buy a whole bunch, like, I want this tour and I want tour guides and I want, all this extra stuff. However, they are saying that in the future, Genie Plus is going to allow you to book your reservations for rides ahead like they used to do with Fast Pass Plus. But I'm betting if they do that, it's going to come with a price hike. You have to pay a fee.
I'm sure. I'm very, very sure.
No. Oh, yeah. See, Grand Floridian 2-bedroom suite, $26,400. Most people aren't going to pay that.
Yeah.
At the All-Star, $900.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going to pay the $2,600. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Food budget, $3,000. Well, if you're doing sit-downs every meal, Park Hopper Plus tickets, $3,600. Skip the line one day. Oh, yeah. Okay. This is confusing. Skip the line VIP tour. Because there's a difference between, paying for Genie Plus and the skip the line tour. I honestly don't think you really need Genie Plus if you have the tour guides because they get you to the front of the line anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So you wouldn't need both.
But now they have a minimum number of hours or something you have to book the tour guides.
Well, usually it was like 6 hours, but like still, 2 Lightning Lane passes per person per day, $1,000. Genie Plus passes, $700. The thing is, if you have a VIP tour guide, you don't need those. So right off the bat, that they're already trying to bullshit the numbers to get you to be like, oh my God, build your own lightsaber for $4. That's true. Princess makeover for $2, also true.
That's true.
Well, it depends what you get. If you get with the dresses, it's a lot more. Just little tip. If you want to do Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, you can go to Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique and just do the basic packages. You do not have to buy the dresses from Disney. You can bring your own dress. So a lot of times, like they'll have different clearance events on Shop Disney, or Amazon has princess outfits, or maybe you sew and make your own. My mom made our daughters. You do not have to buy the dress.
Yeah, hers was better, actually.
Hers was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they did. And when she went to Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, she went one time. She was, little side note, she was so excited because she wanted to go, but we told her we couldn't get the reservations. I'm not going to talk about the circumstances of why something happened in Florida and people canceled their trips, but the reservations opened up.
Yeah.
And we got her in. And it's funny because we walked past it and she's looking over it longingly. And I said, well, let's go look. And we stopped, went to the door. And then I said, we had a reservation, and her whole face like, wait, what? What? Do you remember?
Yeah.
And she was so excited. And we went in and she realized what was going on and she was just thrilled. But they didn't want to let her leave because they liked her.
Yeah.
Because they said, what did she say? She wanted to be Anna so she could punch a prince or something. And then the fairy godmothers in training, that's what they call the stylists. They're like, I like this girl. We'll have her move in. And she goes, but I don't want to leave my dog. And I'm like, well, bring your dog with you. So she was very popular with the people.
She was. Yeah.
She had personality.
She was very happy.
Yes. But I mean, it's not that much. You can get a better deal.
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff isn't that much. You can get better deals.
So anyway, this is what's scary. They said, all told, Disney officials have indicated that visitors spend 40% more per day in the U.S. parks than they did pre-pandemic.
That I believe.
40% more.
I believe that.
The company's operating income from parks and experiences fell 13% last quarter, but was still 24% above where it was in 2019.
Mm-hmm. It's because they keep charging. Well, it dropped but remember they took away the parking fees and all that crap? Yeah. So they probably lost money when they weren't charging for the parking, and they didn't at the hotels like they weren't charging for before, and some other stuff that they said they were doing, giving people a deal, quote unquote. That could be part of why it dropped.
So this is an analyst, Laura Martin. She's a financial analyst, media analyst. I'm sorry. She said Disney has done a lot to increase pricing and per cap spending, helping to blunt the effects of lower attendance. It's a premium product, and it's basically for rich people.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but it is becoming more and more of a stretch for most average people because everybody's, like I said, inflation's like it's really high, and they said people are like hit like 40% higher than they were last year is what they're saying. Not inflation's 40%, but they said that they're seeing a big increase in issues and have to make cuts. So a lot of people just can't do it anymore.
They said that Disney doesn't share specific numbers on park attendance. Executives acknowledged on the most recent earnings call that the Florida resorts were underperforming due to lower attendance and higher operating costs.
And they're going to have to go after the undesirable mix with the annual pass holders. The annual pass holders.
Yeah, that was the thing. They basically told everybody a couple of years ago they're going to price out the poor people. They're going to price out the pass holders. You know, they didn't care. You were unfavorable. We didn't want you. We don't want your dirty, crinkled dollars. We want nice, crisp $1,000 bills.
You're a pay pig.
You're a pay pig, right?
I mean, that actually, right, I'm looking at this. That does look pretty empty. I mean, I'm hearing people that are going, and they said that some people are seeing a difference. Some people are saying they don't see a difference. There is a difference. I am telling you the numbers are down. Is it down to a ghost town like they're saying? No, I do not believe it's down to a ghost town like they're saying. But the numbers are definitely down.
But that makes for a hell of a headline.
It does. It does.
But it's
not necessarily the truth.
Yeah, so they got it from Inside the Magic. Inside the Magic.
Right there's their first problem.
Inside the Magic, the biggest Disney clickbait site on the internet, did call it a ghost town. They said it could be down due to several factors. Weather conditions appear to be one of the more common threads linking the trend. I don't think that.
I think they're showing that But we have to understand too, this is like July.
July.
I saw pictures from like a week ago or so, and it was nuts to butts. Like you couldn't see any gaps between people. They were like solid line of people. It was like a wall of people around the World Showcase.
Yeah, I've seen some pictures too, and I thought it looked pretty busy.
It was busy. I think it just depends too. Like it could be an off week, or you know that there was like right before a holiday. A lot of times, if you go the week before an event, you like if you know a little bit like a few, you can make sure you leave there like a few days before the holiday, like 2 or 3 days before. You usually can get away with people waiting for the holiday, so you might have a little crowd.
So they said that Reddit said it was barren in May. They said that, the weather could, because they had, hurricanes.
I was going to say, was there hurricanes when they went?
Typhoon warning in Hong Kong. That's Hong Kong, though.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had a heat wave in the summer. So what does Disney do? So they're basically blaming the weather.
Well, Disney does that a lot. But...
What? It's not just the weather, you dumbasses. 4,000 comments.
Okay, what do the comments say?
It's not
just the weather,
not just the weather.
But it is down, but it's not down to like ghost town levels.
No, I went last year, rained off and on. Next day was pretty hot.
That's Florida.
That's Florida.
Welcome to Florida.
People have tried to get refunds. They've tried to get refunds on trips because they've gone to Disney and it rained the whole week. And
that's Florida.
They were angry. It's like, wait a minute, you went to Disney in like September and it rained every day. Oh my God, it rains every day pretty much in Florida. This I think has more to do with it.
It's making it really complicated, yeah.
Disney has been trying to force its guests into pre-planning every detail of their trip months in advance, right down to which rides they'll ride specific times of the day.
Well, not anymore. I mean, they're going to bring that back, but with Genie Plus, you don't get to do that like you did with Fast Pass. Now, Fast Pass Plus, you did have to do that ahead of time. You don't yet. And I think if that comes back, which a lot of people want that to come back, it's going to come with a price.
Yeah, this person here. It's not the weather. It's summer, and summers are hot.
Yes.
They always have been.
Summers are awful.
Oh, Florida. It's horrible.
September is awful in Florida.
September is always bad. September and October even is bad. I believe it's the cost. Disney keeps raising admission prices, and there's going to be a tipping point where people just won't visit. At that time, the parks will only be for the super wealthy.
Here, after a recent trip there last February, things that used to be complimentary or low cost, they're now charging for.
Yes.
It is already way too expensive for the average family to be able to afford to go. Then throw in greed for the money. This is why attendance is down. Cost to the family.
This one here, my son and I are coming down from Canada for 2 weeks. Airfare, hotel, food, taxi, park tickets to Universal and Disney for the duration costing me about $12,000. Yeah. I don't think weather has anything to do with it. Has absolutely nothing to do with the weather. It's been hot in July before during COVID, and people still pack the parks.
Yep, summers were always the busiest because everybody was off school.
They keep trying to push it. That was Iger was trying to push the weather too. What none of these executives at these companies want to admit is that year after year, they've stripped more and more value from their packages. Gone are the days of Magical Express, free water park days, discounted food and drinks at hotels, extra magic hours, fast pass.
Yeah, they got rid of a lot of that stuff. Now they have different things like they have these after hours of things you have to pay tickets for now to get. You don't get the extra magic hour. It's like a half an hour. And then if you want extra time, there's like you can buy these event tickets. I was going to say they used to do that. Your tickets, if you didn't use them, were good forever. Well, they don't do that now. And then for a while there, you could continue to hold their days if you paid extra, but they don't do that. I know that they are going to do a water park pass off season between now and like May. If you live in the area, you can get a park pass for the water parks now.
Yeah.
That just started.
So Michelle here, this is very similar to our experience. She said 7 years ago, she took her son on a trip and, it was a week-long trip. And it was about $4,000. Okay. But now the same trip today, $9,500.
Mm-hmm.
And to do exactly what they did 7 years ago, probably pushing $15,000. Who the hell can afford that?
Yeah, no, I believe it.
We did a trip last year and it wound up costing us. I was very surprised. Let's just say I was very surprised at how much it cost us because I was thinking 2017, 28 prices, pre-pandemic prices, and everything was a hell of a lot more expensive than I remembered. This one, they decided as a company to concentrate on customers who agree with their values and charge high prices. That's their right. Many people simply don't want to be customers of theirs. This person's like, I'm one of the old heads, in the 60s and 70s, I bought everything Disney and now I don't care.
Basically, they just can't afford it. It's just too expensive. And I think these people are getting tired of Disney. They want it to be like the go-to brand, but I think people are just tiring of them overall and in general.
Without citing any sources, they basically argue the attendance is down because of the weather. No, that's Bob Iger's narrative. That was his official excuse. Oh, it's too hot. Florida's just too hot.
Well, okay, Florida's very hot in the summer, but summers have always traditionally been very busy. They were back when they had the different types of seasons. It was considered peak season.
Yeah. Here's another one. Yeah, Florida's always hot. What the hell, guys? So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Next week is their year-end earning call. And, I am very curious to see if the attendance is down, because I have been seeing photos. I mean, to be fair, I've been seeing photos on Twitter. We follow a lot of people who go to the parks, and it looks fairly crowded.
On the side of the weather argument, though, this last summer, though, they had ridiculous heat. Like, there was a few days. I mean, it's bad already, guys, not going to lie. But there were days that people were like, it was insanely hot. Like, way worse than it's been. I don't know if that's when those pictures were taken in June, because I can't remember exactly when it was, but I know
I think it was June, July.
Yeah, well, that might be why, depending. So you have to understand, like, look at the dates. If you're seeing a picture of an empty park, look at the dates. Is it near, like, some event? Like a heat wave? Or was there a storm or a hurricane or something coming? You have to check that, too, because there might be other things going on that make it look like it's less busy. Or on days it's really, really busy, was it a holiday weekend? Was it because there was one of those athletic events going on? Something like that may make it more crowded. So you can't just go by photos. You have to know the context of when the photos were taken to really make a fair judgment based on that.
Yeah, so it's going to be, I don't know, guys. They're cruising for a bruising. Let's just put it that way. There is the perfect storm of pretty much everything Disney's doing. The one thing they could depend on was the theme parks. And now that people aren't going to the theme parks because they've priced most people out, that's another leg that gets kicked out from under the table after they've lost movies. Mm-hmm. And Disney Plus subscribers are down. And this might be part of why Nelson Peltz is hovering, because he's like, yeah, everything is collapsing. Everything you're doing, Disney, is not working out. And this explains it too, because you said today there was a puff piece out there for Disney travel agents trying to drum up interest in booking a trip or whatever. And, they do this all the time. Now's the best time ever to book a trip for Disney.
I want to say this one thing that you have highlighted here. It's completely not right, because it said tickets, $139 for a day ticket. A lot of times they're more than that. And then if you want to pay to actually get on stuff, it's more than that. 15 to $20 a pop for Mickey ears. They are more than that. They are like hitting like 30 to 35, some of them higher than that. So that's actually low. 15 to 20 it's a lot higher than that.
I remember most of the time the tickets were like just under $100. And then I remember when they hit $100, now it wasn't that long ago. I want to say it was like 2017, because we were working for the other blog and people were freaking out because they hit $100.
Remember when the tickets used to be like whatever the day you like, if your first day of a trip was like a Wednesday, and it used to be like, all your tickets would, first before that, the more days you went, the less day each ticket cost per day. So like if one day was like, $100, you're there for like 5 days, it ends up being like 50 some bucks a day or whatever it would be. It would drop per day depending on how many days you stay. Well, then they got rid of that. And then it was whatever day you arrived was the price of your ticket, all your tickets for that price. It was like a cheap day and you went your first day of the park and it was $80. Then all your days were $80. Well, now it's just you pay full price no matter what day you go.
Yeah.
There is no deal anymore.
It was confusing. I mean, when they started, like the day that you would start your tickets would determine the price of the tickets. And, was it a Monday or Tuesday, a Saturday, whatever. And they were all over the place. And I remember travel agents were having a hell of a time trying to explain this to their customers.
But it used to be like if you did a 5-day, ticket, you'd get a discount per day. After so many days, you get discounts, and each day would cost less and less. Not now. No. You pay full price, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because what they wanted you to do before, the thought process was, we get you to the park, we're gonna charge you for hotel, you're gonna buy food, so we're gonna incentivize you to stay more than a couple of days. We want you to stay for like a week.
Now they know you're gonna stay no matter what. They're just gonna charge you for everything. So anyway.
Yeah, I want to point this out here real quick before we wrap up. This woman's like, okay, I enjoy Disney. I've only gone to the parks a couple times. It's so expensive. I could pay for a trip to Europe for what we spent to have a few days at the park. It used to be a nice family outing. Now it's a trip you have to budget for years in advance in order to do so. Here come the pixie dusters. Disney is not a family outing, LOL. It's a once-in-a-lifetime family experience. Why does everyone think they should be able to go every summer like it's a regular crappy amusement park? And what's the hang up on Europe? We have been several times. I wasn't impressed.
Wait. If it's a once-in-a-lifetime family vacation, then you're telling everybody else it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And why are you going to Europe all the time? You have the money to go to Europe all the time, but you only go to Disney once in a lifetime, Chris?
Yeah, you can go fake Europe in Epcot, right? I'm sure
your name is Chris. Is it Chris from Florida?
From Orlando.
From Orlando. Isn't that the joke?
That's the joke.
Is it Chris from Orlando?
I'm sure young children.
Sorry.
I'm sure young children would like it as much as a Disney trip done correctly.
Fuck off, Chris.
Here comes another one. Yep, I remember it that way when I was raising my kids in the 80s, and people act like the other parks are so much cheaper, but they aren't really, considering WDW has more than parks if you stay in the world. And they stay in the world. I remember it was that way when raising my kids. Act like the other person. I don't know. Basically, it's going to cost more.
And Kathy, Chris and Kathy.
From Orlando.
You sure it's not Karen?
Anyway, there it is, guys. Everybody pointing out now that they are not doing well. But yeah, $40,000.
That's a bit of an exaggeration. I mean, can you pay more than $40,000? Oh yeah, if you want to.
Yes, Grand Floridian club level 2-bedroom suite.
You don't need to stay at the Grand Floridian. And then they are doing sales on like hotel rooms now. There's different discounts you can get. It's not great, but there are some discounts. Yeah, no, you can do it much, much, much cheaper. I mean, it's still really expensive for what it is, but that's very misleading and no. Don't go by that. Don't listen to that.
I have to wonder. There's so many people are so like their lives revolve around Disney World. Look,
they do. I'm on the boards. It's ridiculous.
We covered Disney for a living, basically, for a number of years.
We used to be down there every month.
We were there all the damn time.
1 month we were to 3 different parks. You were to 3 different places in 1 month.
Yeah, like there
were Walt
weeks.
Disney World, Disneyland, the Disney World again.
Yeah, and that's what I got paid to do, right? And but the thing is that even then, I didn't obsess about it as much as some people. Some of these people, I'm like, God forbid, if they shut the Disney parks down, and it could happen someday, some year, it could just be like, you know what? We're shutting it all down. It doesn't make money anymore. Nobody's coming. Everything's dilapidated. We don't feel like putting more money in. Now I'm talking like decades down the road. What are these people going to do? What would you do if they just shut? Because we saw how depressed, like clinically depressed these influencers were.
Oh my gosh, because the parks were shut down.
Wearing their mouse ears in the rain. Like, I'm going to die. I haven't been to Disney for 6 whole months. What am I going to do? Oh my God. Stop COVID now so I can get some Mickey Mouse ice cream.
Disneyland especially was closed up. I'm sorry. I was going to say here too, you said about Luntesta.
Yes.
Touring plans. It says it's down 15%. 15%, I believe.
Yeah.
15% sounds about right. I would say 15 to 20%. And if you can imagine 15 to 20%, it isn't that much of a difference. I mean, it's a big difference for the bottom line, which is why they're raising prices to offset. But you're not going to see a huge difference in the crowds by 15%. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think it just depends on when you see pictures from and what's going on around it. But 15% sounds about right.
I think it's going to, I think people are going to go for the holiday stuff, but I think it's going to decline more because, again, people are tightening their belts. Everything costs more. Flights are freaking ridiculous now.
Yeah, the flights right now are just, I don't know what's going on, but they are beyond. I don't know what's going on with that.
So anyway, we're going to wrap this up.
Yes.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.